Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today I want to talk about these two watches down here, but also kind of, my whole collection of G-Shock squares. So obviously over the last, it's been about 7 years or so, I've collected all of these various G-Shock squares. Obviously different colors, styles, but still it's kind of that basic G-Shock square shape. So some of them have a few different functions and features, but for the most part, they're all G-Shock squares, right? Today I want to talk about these two G-Shocks here, or actually I want to talk about a new G-Shock that just came out a few weeks ago officially in Japan, and I think it's rolling out internationally as well. And some folks already have them, but I wanted to talk about the brand new one, the DW-5000R, which is a throwback to the very first G-Shock from 1983, the DW-5000C. So, what can I tell you? The very first G-Shock, obviously a long and storied history of G-Shock watches. It looked an awful lot like this one here on the left. This is a more up-to-date version. This is a GW-5610, not the 5610U, but the 5610, and this one's held up really well. This one over here, same module in this one over here. This is a GW-5000. It isn't the GW-5000U, which is a little bit slightly updated version, but I want to talk about these two watches and compare them to the very first G-Shock back in 1983 and the DW-5000R that just came out as a tribute to that very first G-Shock. So lately, I got to tell you, Casio's been spending a lot of effort kind of on their vintage collection of watches, including, I just, showed you this one, a little while ago, a few weeks ago, okay, the ABL 100. And so this is a throwback to a watch that they were selling back in the 1980s. It's a new updated version with Bluetooth and a few things. Anyway, you can watch my video. Please do. If you haven't watched my videos, please watch more of my videos. That's great. So anyway, as far as that original G-Shock, the throwback to the one that looks like this is now available. And so there are some significant differences. Now, in all my G-Shock collection, most of them I've left exactly stock as they were sold by Casio. This one, I modified it by just replacing the original watch band with a third-party bracelet. So apart from messing around with a little bit of bezel action, changing some things and bracelets, I've pretty much kept them all stock. So if you look at this one here and compare it to the original DW-5000C, you'll notice that it has, a very similar readout there, and that red stripe around it, and it's 200-meter water resistant, and it's tough, and all those things that you would want from a G-Shock watch. But one thing, if you look at the back of it, you can see that the case is made of resin, and the case back is a kind of a milled metal stainless steel with 4 screws to hold that down, as opposed to the original G-Shock, which was a metal case covered with kind of a plastic on the bezel on the top. And the original had a screw down case back, which is usually sought after as being good for water resistance. So not necessarily essential, as you can see from this watch, that is still 200-meter water resistant. But if you had that original, it would weigh a little bit more and be possibly a little tougher because of the stainless steel case. Now, for comparison, if you were to buy the GW-5000 or the GW-5000U, you would see also that it has kind of a resin bezel there, resin watch band, but that is a stainless steel case with a screw-down case back for this watch. Look closely and you can see where that whole case is metal. I originally got this watch just because I liked the colors on it. I liked that it did not have any special coloring, just kind of shades of gray, no stripe around the face, and that's why I wanted it. But because it's made a little more premium with the stainless steel case and the screw-down case back, you do pay a premium for this watch. So if you were to look around right now to get the GW-5000U, you'd probably spend about $300 for that, depending on where you shop. Maybe looking around eBay or something, get someone to send it to you from Japan. It might only cost closer to $240, but you're still paying a little bit of a premium for this one, and some people really like it. It weighs a little bit more because of the metal, but that's what you get. Now, When it comes to the DW-5000R, you'll find that it has the same coloring as this one here. It has the same stainless steel case and also the screw down case back as this one here. It has a resin watch band, and it's about $200 if you look around for that one. So I don't know if it's quite available where you are. I checked the Casio website. For me here in the United States, it shows that, notify me like it's either sold out or it's pre-order, something like that. It's not supposed to be a limited edition watch, so therefore, keep an eye on it. If it goes out of stock, they're likely to make more of them, so you can look for that. So if you really, really want that vintage look that is much closer to the look and features of that original 1983 G-Shock, then be my guest. Go get yourself the DW-5000R. And even though it's brand new, it feels like an nice old vintage watch and retro in the best way possible. Now, personally, I like the features on this watch here. This one has tough solar, meaning there's a solar cell built into the face of the watch, and it will charge its own battery if you just expose it to everyday light as you use it day after day. It also has what they call multi-band 6, so there's a radio receiver built into this watch, and it will set itself to the correct time when it receives radio broadcasts from time transmitters. There are 6 of them in different parts of the Northern Hemisphere. So I like those features, and the DW-5000R does not have those features. However, it does have a stopwatch, a countdown timer, a daily alarm. It has an hourly chime, which actually it will flash the backlight when that hourly chime goes off, or when the alarms go off. And that backlight on the DW-5000R is an LED backlight, so not the electroluminescent backlight, but closer to the look of the original G-Shock. So if you like those functions and features and the stainless steel, all that, it's $200, go ahead, be my guest. But I think for now, I'm going to stick with these because I already have them. And all the other G-Shocks in my case there, the G-Shock squares, also have tough solar and multi-band 6 built into each and every one of those watches. So I really like those features. Now, unfortunately, if I were to look right now at the Casio website looking for a GW M5610 watch like this is the only one available. It's the new U version of it, and it's the only one that they list. So I'm not able to get colors like these. I think this NASA one is sold out a long time ago. Even these kind of updated ones that have Bluetooth in them are not readily available at this point. I think you can still find, I saw this one on Amazon, but some of these others are sold out, and something like this, long gone. So I'm just hoping that at some point this year, Casio is going to do kind of a refresh and a re-release and put out a few different options when it comes to the ones that either have multi-band 6 and tough solar or those plus Bluetooth. I've really enjoyed those functions, so we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, the newest thing you're going to find will be the DW-5000R. Oh, actually, they are coming out. You see this one here. This is the GW-5000. So coming soon, they're going to have a couple new versions of this, the GW-5000U. One of them will have white resin for the bezel and the band, but otherwise look almost identical to this. Just imagine all this black stuff in white. Or there'll be a version of this with a negative LCD. So here you're seeing dark colored characters against a light background. Imagine the reverse of that, a dark background with light colored characters. So you'll be able to get that soon for probably about $300 for each of those new ones. But I got to tell you, I'm a little concerned, a little worried, a little sad that I can't just go and find a whole bunch of different G-Shock squares available now that I could just buy whatever kind I want. But obviously I have plenty. So, and some of these, even though they're kind of sold out, not readily available direct from Casio, you'll still find them used or even new on eBay, places like that. So you can still look around. But yeah, if you like that classic G-Shock square, there you go. DW-5000R. It's around there somewhere, about $200. Whereas like this one here, you can get for just barely over $100 if you want to get one of these. All right, another thing I need to acknowledge, even though for me the preference is always tough solar and multiband 6 included in these watches, there are plenty of versions of the G-Shock Square still available without that tough solar technology and without Bluetooth and without multiband 6. If you want to get kind of a plain G-Shock Square without those, save a little bit of money even, you can still look for those. I'm just hoping that here in the year 2025, we're just basically kicking off the year right now. I'm hoping as we get further into the year, I'll see a few more varieties of some of these watches and maybe increase my collection on the G-Shock Squares. But until that happens, I'm okay. I'm okay. And when that happens, I'll make a video about it. I want to kind of make this my slogan, my catchphrase, my tag, if you will. And I want this to be true. Just remember, there will always be another episode of the Good Timekeeping Show.